Well, hi, welcome. Sorry to be late. My computer froze up and then the camera wasn't working. And so a few misadventures, but we're going to get started in just a couple seconds. This is a great time. Take a couple easy deep breaths, really get settled in. We're going to do some really powerful energy work that I think you're going to find really great. So it's great to just take a minute and easy deep breaths. There we go. And again, for people who are just coming on, I apologize. My computer froze up and the camera wouldn't work. But the thing that's funny about all that is I spent quite a bit of time getting things set up and tested this morning. So, oh well. We're going to have a really great time today. So let me know if you can hear me all right, either with a thumbs up or just yes. Let me know if the sound and the volume and everything is fine before we go any further. All righty. So hi, I'm Art Geiser. I'm the creator of Energetic NLP, and I do these Facebook Lives every Thursday. They're always at 12:05 in the afternoon, Pacific Daylight Time, or Pacific Time, which is here in California, San Francisco, Los Angeles. And for some of you, it may be confusing right now because North America changes daylight savings on different dates than South America and Europe and other countries. So it's always good to check your local time, but it'll always be 12:05 Pacific Time. And Energetic NLP is a combination of spiritual principles, transformative energy work, healing energy work, intuition development, and NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, which is a more logical, psychological-based system. And I've been an NLP trainer since 1985. I studied with all the developers. And then in terms of healing work, spiritual work, psychic work, I've had a number of incredible teachers that have been fantastic. And I've been blessed to have two empowerments from the Dalai Lama, one to increase my healing abilities, and the other was for enlightenment, and still working on that one. So each of these sessions, we're going to focus on something different. And today we're going to focus on the third chakra, the solar plexus. And that's where your rib cage begins to divide. Right below that area is the solar plexus. And the solar plexus chakra, or energy center, and I'll use those terms interchangeably, goes from the solar plexus down to, towards your navel. And all the chakras are really, really important. I'd like to remind people, hope you can read this, your energy system is a system. Every part of it affects every other part. So all the energy centers or chakras, your energy field, your energy channels, and more are all affecting one another. So each of the energy centers has certain specialties and things that it particularly works with. But it's important to realize it isn't that limited. It's the same way with your physical body. You could be having neck problems because you have flat feet or because there's something going on with your knees. You could be having problems thinking because something you ate. I mean, everything affects everything. It's a system. And just as most of us have learned that in terms of our physical health, we have to think holistically, it's really valuable to do that the same when you're working with the energy system. So it's useful to be able to focus on the chakras having particular powers, if you will, abilities. But just remember, it's all a system and everything's affecting everything. Okay, let me just, great. People let me know they can hear me. Great. We have a wonderful international group on. That's great. So a couple of terms that we use in Energetic NLP that I'll just introduce real quickly. And some of these I talk about more in some of the earlier Facebook Lives, and of course in my training programs. So one is this concept of whole being permission. And that's when all of the aspects of you are aligned in manifesting a more and more miraculous life. So that your spirit, your soul, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, your body, it's also limited or strengthened by your karma and spiritual contracts and other factors. And when we have all of that, we call it whole being permission. And the reason I like to mention it is I have so many clients that go, gee, I visualize what I want and I consciously want this or that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, just because you consciously want something doesn't mean it's what your spirit wants. It doesn't mean it's what your soul wants. It doesn't mean that your unconscious mind is aligned. It doesn't mean that your body is aligned. It doesn't mean that your karma is aligned with it or spiritual contracts or, again, these other factors. So I just like people to be aware of, because sometimes people beat themselves up like, oh, I'm not visualizing right, or I'm not meditating right. And all of those things are really, really important. But like everything else in life, it's not always that simple. I mean, when it works, it means you do have whole being permission. But if it doesn't work, or if it works and then it keeps falling apart, it means some aspect of you is out of alignment. And as these Facebook Lives go on, we'll be talking more and more about these different aspects. Another really important concept is what we call your miraculous self. Your miraculous self. Your miraculous self is not your high self. I mean, I was shocked one time years ago in London. This man's a nice man, but he's been in a lot of my programs, and he was interchanging the terms. And I went, it's really important. The high self is a really wonderful concept. It's just something different. Your miraculous self is when your inner human wisdom and your spirit are aligned and guiding and supporting you in living a more miraculous life. They're guiding you and supporting you and working together, which is the key thing. They're working together to manifest your heart's desires. And it's something that you create and make stronger. It's not, your high self just exists and you're more or less in touch with it. Your miraculous self exists to a point. Well, in some people, it really doesn't exist at all. In other people, it exists, but it's weak and it's not working strongly. The reason you want the two of them aligned is your spirit has this vast cosmic outlook on everything. And your spirit in many ways is like the perfect parent. Within a range, it'll go whatever you want, dear, because it sees the spiritual validity of a lot of different paths in lives. Like you want to struggle with abundance. Your spirit may go, well, that's fine. That's a valid spiritual path. You want to have abundance and wealth and security. That's another valid spiritual path. You want to have love, and that's a valid path. You want to have your heart broken and feel lonely. That's another valid path. So it isn't that your spirit doesn't care. It cares very much. It just sees this big picture of you and what you are, beyond, what you're aware of in your normal human awareness. And what I would find years ago is that the spirit was helping to create and allowing things that wasn't what the person really consciously wanted. So when you align your spirit with your human inner wisdom, then your human inner wisdom brings in that day-to-day, minute-to-minute perspective on what would allow you to have a miraculous life, what would be a happy, successful, meaningful, satisfying life. And it will work with your spirit. And it isn't that one dominates the other. They work together to create a life that is propelling you forward spiritually and personally. And it's also allowing you to have a more miraculous life. So and the reason why that's important for now, so I'm going to start referring to your miraculous self in just a moment when we start doing the energy work. When I say your miraculous self, I mean your inner wisdom and spirit working together. And we got tired of saying your miraculous self all the time. So, and I work a lot in London. So we started saying, instead of your miraculous self, we just started calling it your M, which if you know the James Bond books or movies, his boss is M. So it was kind of a little joke. So if I say your M, that means your miraculous self. That means your inner spirit and wisdom working together. Now, your inner spirit and wisdom working together is something that you can develop to a finer and finer level where you're more guided and supported in life. And in the energetic NLP programs, we spend a lot of time working on getting that better and better and better. But the first step, and it's a really, really big first step, is to right now, if you want to, just give yourself permission to create or strengthen your miraculous self. So what you're doing is you're going as a conscious being. I'm giving 100% permission for my spirit, my inner wisdom to work together to form a miraculous self, to form my miraculous self, my M. And you don't need to know how to do that. Your spirit and your inner wisdom know how to do it. It's just a matter of, will you give them permission? So if you want to right now, give that permission. And if you're already familiar with energetic NLP, rather than you can give permission for your M to get stronger and more powerful in your life and to guide you and support you better and to manifest more things in your life. And there's no effort involved. It's just a matter of going, I'm choosing that now. And the next thing is just to consciously choose, if you want to put your M 100% in charge of what's about to happen. So my job is to get the energy flowing. And one of my specialties is remote energy work. And it's one of the things that I teach my students. Everybody can do it. It's not something that only a few of us were born with the ability to do. People have known this forever. That's why they pray for people that are distant. We know that we can access spiritual forces by our thoughts and by our intentions. So my job is to get the energy flowing for you. Your job is to relax and hopefully be willing to tell your M you're 100% in charge and just completely relax. The only way you can defeat this process is if you get expectations in mind of what's supposed to happen, what you're supposed to feel, what you're supposed to think, all the supposed to's. They'll get in the way if you focus on those. So in other words, your judgments and expectations. So for right now, just let go of all that. It's kind of like if you were getting a great massage, you just relax and let them do it. And then you know how you feel later. Well, you'll know how you feel over the coming days, because energy processes like this, they don't end when we stop in just a little bit. The energy, you will keep processing the energy for at least days. This is a good time for me to mention, if you're listening to this while you're driving, either in this initial broadcast or is recording, if you're listening to it while you're driving, either pull over and stop or just listen to it later. The recording will be available later. The energy, whether you believe it or not, the energy will cause you to go inward. And while you'll probably drive safely, you don't want things causing you to go inward while you're driving. You want to be external, not internal. So never ever listen to any of my audios or videos while you're driving. The other thing is, if you're listening to the recording, if you pretend that it's happening right now as you're listening, if you just pretend it, the energy will be really strong. And how that works is a whole interesting topic. But and again, this isn't faith healing. You don't need to believe it. What I ask is that if you're listening to this recording, just pretend, okay, it's happening right now, and you will connect with the energies, because these energies are working both in and outside of time. But again, that's a whole other interesting topic. So everybody, take a couple easy, deep breaths. Just relax. And say hello to your playful inner child. Because if you were all 5 years old and you were in a good mood and I went, okay, relax, and we're going to run energy and you're going to put your M in charge, you'd giggle and you'd do it, and you would do it fantastically well, because you wouldn't be judging and evaluating it. Just relax about it. A couple of other things, and the energy's about to get started. It is started. It's about to get stronger. It doesn't matter if you feel the energy or not. it's more fun if you feel it, but it works either way. Some of the most powerful energy work I've ever received, I didn't feel it at that time. And so if you feel it, fine. If you don't feel it, fine. A whole symphony of energies are starting to come in that your M is plucking from them and deciding what to do with them. And a lot of those energies are very high frequency. And even a lot of people who do a lot of energy work, they're just not used to tuning into those. So if you feel it, fine. If you don't feel it, fine. If at the end of this you go, I don't remember anything Art said, that's fantastic, because the energies will put you in a bit of an altered state. Remember, the recording will be up. You can always listen to it later. So if you're trying to learn what I'm doing, or if you're, which this isn't a good way to learn it, or if you want, or want to be careful about what I said, just relax about that now. You'll be able to listen to it later, and there won't be anything that I'm saying that you will have any problem with, or you would have already gotten off this session. Remember, your M is in charge. My job is to get the energy flowing. Your M will decide what blocks to release, what old programming to release, what to work on. And today, again, we're focusing on the solar plexus, the third energy center, that's below your sternum, where the rib cage begins to divide and then goes down into your abdomen. And some of the things that that third center, and as I said before, it's a whole system. So none of these things are happening just in your solar plexus or third, but these are things that a lot happens around them. So your third has a lot to do with your personal power, confidence, self-esteem, and willpower. So if you'd like, it has to do with getting into action, moving forward in your life, transformation. Physically, it has to do with metabolism and digestion, your pancreas, your liver, your digestive system, large intestine, stomach, lung, adrenal glands. So if you want enhancements in all of these areas, just give 100% permission for your M to be in charge, to use the energies to enhance your personal power, your confidence, your self-esteem, your willpower, your getting into action, moving forward in your life, transformation, your metabolism and digestion. So that could be depending on what your M thinks you need, speeding up or slowing down your metabolism, improving your digestion, pancreas, liver, the whole digestive system, large intestine, stomach, lung, adrenal glands. So again, the main focus is, we could sum up as your personal power, your metabolism, and your digestion. And for those of you who like to chant, the sound that's associated with the third, and there's more than one sound, but kind of the main sound is Ram. And if you chant Ram, Ram, it will help your third energy center. You don't have to do that now unless you want to. Okay, so remember, your M is in charge. If you have to, fake a smile. Relax your jaws, your tongue. Relax that point between your eyebrows. Relax your toes. Relax your lower back. Take a few easy, deep breaths. And just relax. A couple easy, deep breaths. Let the energy get stronger. Easy deep breaths. Affirm that you're giving 100% permission for what we're doing to enhance your personal power, your confidence, your self-esteem, your willpower, your ability to get into action, your ability to move forward in your life. You're given permission to enhance your metabolism and digestion, heal and enhance your pancreas, liver, large intestine, stomach, lung, adrenal glands. Your entire digestive system and elimination system. And set your intention that what we're doing is not only helping you get into action and to have more personal power and willpower, but to be guided and supported by your M in what to do and how to use your personal power, how to use your will. So again, we're increasing and enhancing all those abilities and increasing and enhancing the guidance and support you get from your M, your miraculous self, your inner wisdom and spirit working together. Easy deep breaths. Imagine the connection between your solar plexus, your third, and your inner wisdom and your spirit are getting stronger and more refined and more wonderful. Easy deep breaths. The energy is still flowing, but I'd like to say a few things now to condense the time, or not condense the time, to utilize the time. So the energy is still flowing, easy deep breaths. If you're doing anything after this that requires safety, let's ask your M to make sure, and your unconscious mind, So ask your M and your unconscious mind and give permission for your M and unconscious mind to make sure you're naturally safe and naturally alert. Naturally safe and naturally alert, particularly if you're doing something like driving. And then if you want, set your intention that tonight and for the next 3 nights, a portion of the time when you're sleeping, just a portion of the time, your M and your unconscious mind will review what happened this session. And they'll infuse it with your inner wisdom. They'll infuse it with your spiritual information. They'll make it richer and deeper. They'll make it higher and wider. They'll make it more multidimensional. And most especially, it will be automatically integrated into your life. So while you sleep soundly and deeply, so you can wake up feeling refreshed and happy, part of the time when you sleep tonight and for the next 3 nights, your unconscious mind and your M will enhance what's happened during this session. Now we're bringing in energies to help you process and integrate what's happened. And if any programming was taken out of your space, old limiting programming, whether it's unconscious or energetic, give your M permission now to replace any programming that was released with your inner wisdom and your spiritual information, which will always be better than the programming. And let that happen be outside your conscious awareness. Just give 100% permission that any programming that was released is being replaced with your inner wisdom, your spiritual information, which will always be better. And I put a link in the chat. If you're not on my mailing list and you like what we're doing today, definitely get on my mailing list. I do, and I'm going to be doing a lot over the coming weeks, a lot of free webinars and meditations like this. There's a number of healing ones. It's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Some will teach you how to do some energetic NLP yourself. Also, if you're on the mailing list, you'll hear I have workshops coming up in April, May, and June in the United States and in London. And I'll be speaking, I'll give a plug for the annual Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, now called the Wellness Festival, that's in London. But if you look up under Mind, Body, Spirit, you'll find it. I'm one of the speakers of that in May in London, and that's always a really fun event. And it's great. Those of you that live around there, it's always fun to run into a lot of you there, and that's great. But I'll also be teaching some workshops beginning of June, and some other ones in London, and April and May in the US. When you change your energy, it's important to let other people know, because on the inner level, they'll pick up on the changes, even pets. Olive Hickmont, who's on this session, who I call her the mother of energetic NLP in the UK, a wonderful person. And she's the one who first brought me to the UK to teach. One time, one of her dogs was acting really weird when we got back from a workshop. And that was one of the times I realized, oh, people and animals, everything sensing our energy has changed. So just ask your M to send out a spiritual email. Ask your M to send out a spiritual email. And it's just informing people that, oh, my energy has changed. And it's just like if you were changing your address. You don't go, is it okay if I've changed my address? You just go, this is my new address. This is how you can find me. So it's letting everybody in your life, from business to family, friends, relationships, just let them know, like, my energy shifted. It's actually better. And this is how you recognize me now. Include your pets. We have a number of funny pet stories when people don't do this. So include your pets. Take a couple easy deep breaths, and we're bringing in more energy to help you process and integrate this. Really important to drink water after this and to at least lightly move and stretch. And we're bringing in energies now to help ground everybody so you're more in your body. And it's okay to be spacey if you're not up to anything where that's a problem. But for those of you that want or need it, we're bringing energies to help you ground and really assimilate this. Before you leave today, if you would like the page and put in a like or a heart or some kind of a smile or some kind of comment on this particular Facebook Live session, but if you'd also like the Energetic NLP page, that would be a great favor to me and to other people, because Facebook looks at all of that, and the more they see likes and comments, they go, oh, you're up to something people like, and then they'll just show it it'll show up for more people that are interested in energy work and spirituality. So it's a great gift to me if you do that, and if you haven't signed up on my mailing list, please do. And I just so appreciate all of you being on this session with me. You had lovely energy. The recording will be here, so you can come back to this page and listen to the other Facebook Lives. You can, if you want, in a few days or a week, repeat this one so that you take your solar plexus even further. I'd love to hear feedback on this page, what you notice over the coming days or weeks as things shift. And especially look for the little things, because when you notice the little positive shifts, it registers to your unconscious mind and to your spirit. And so if you just wait for the big, huge changes, it isn't a lot of positive reinforcement. If you notice, like, oh, okay, I would have felt a little differently, or maybe I would have been, just it could be a million little ways that this will show up. When you notice them, just kind of acknowledge them to yourself, like, oh. So I'll give you an easy example. I bought this meditation device called the Muse. It's very interesting, and it makes some sounds. And when it makes different sounds if you're really in a good meditative state, or if your mind's starting to get active. So it just reminds you. And when I was first wearing it, it'd be like, oh, I'm thinking too much. But then I was able to quickly shift that when I would notice it, to go, oh, great, I noticed, and now I can relax again. So rather than criticizing myself for those, I'm rewarding myself for noticing and then adapting. So, and that's a really, in any area of personal spiritual change, that's really powerful. So thank you. Thrilled that you all have been part of this, and feel free to make more comments and like the page. And if you have suggestions about topics you'd like on these Facebook Lives or anything else, I'd love to hear them. Love you all, and to the next time. Bye.